Hey, welcome to the show. It's Talking Circles with your host Tyler Rust. I'm here with my host with the most, Kyle Masters, guest host, side piece, whatever you want to call him. I want to
Idiot.
start off by yeah, fellow idiot. I want to start off by thanking our sponsors of the show, Kimstream Race Fuels, also ACT Tire and Auto, and Ferris Commercial Mowers. Without them, this would not be possible. So today, May the 4th be with you. We have one of the top crew chiefs in the micro scene and now dabbling in the midget market. He's now stroking shock shafts on the daily and one of the best personalities in the pits, Mr. Magic Man McDaniel, Brad McDaniel. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, guys. How you guys doing?
Great.
Awesome,
Kyle,
man.
Kyle, are you actually wearing pants or?
Oh, are we supposed to be wearing pants?
I don't think it's necessary. I mean, you can't really. You're fine.
Yeah.
So, hey, I guess we'll get this interview going. So let's just start off by talking about the most recent news in your life, Brad. Talking about your career switch this past year. You left R&R and joined your fellow friends, Sonny Ross and Dustin Clary over there at Bandit Shocks. So you guys been pumping out some of the best shocks on the market. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your career switch and how's it going over there at Bandit?
I appreciate that, man. It's been really good. Yeah, kind of happened real quick out of nowhere. I don't know. Sonny had gotten to a point where he was getting kind of overwhelmed with his shock business because it had grown so big, because he had done a great job with it. And he's now got, his track, Charleston Speedway. He's got a lot of other hats that he wears. He's just got a lot of stuff going on. And he was kind of trying to find a way to keep the name going, keep the business going, not piss off his customers that he had, grown. And he kind of talked to me, and him, and Dustin all kind of worked something out. And yeah, I unfortunately had to leave R&R to do it. R&R was a neat place. It was a really cool job that kind of got me, my first job in racing, that really kind of let me meet a lot of cool people, do a lot of cool things.
Yeah, they put out a lot of cool shirts too. I got one on now.
We're laughing. We're all wearing shirts that I sold
R&R
as an R&R salesperson.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, no, it was a really fun job and got to do a lot of cool things and meet a lot of cool people and make some cool relationships. But I don't know, when the shock deal came up, like, you guys know me, like, that's just, setup stuff, race car physics, like, that's where my heart's at. And I couldn't really pass it up. It was just something kind of neat. And now I'm basically kind of getting to work as my own boss, work my own hours, come and go as I please, and having a lot of cool one-on-one with actually race car drivers. As opposed to doing the shirt stuff, you deal a lot more with their girlfriends, wives, etc. most of the time. So this, for me, I like to kick it with the guys and do the race car thing. So it's been really good for me.
Good deal. Kyle, you got anything to add on to that one? Do you have anything you want to talk about as far as that goes?
Yeah, man. So whenever you're doing shocks, obviously. Now, what shocks are you working on? Like, what are you mainly just working on, like micro stuff, or like what are you guys doing?
So I definitely would say that a majority of the stuff that I've done since I've been here has been micro sprint stuff. There's no doubt. I've done a lot of stock car stuff. Sonny had done a really good job of creating a stock car following, and some of that, it probably helped when he got his track up here, and just having Charleston, so close, probably helped him develop that market. But obviously I know the micro stuff so well that seems to be kind of even growing even after I've been in there, even though he already had a pretty large following of micro sprint customers. So that's been pretty cool. I'd like to grow more in the rest of the open wheel markets, the midget, the sprint car, stuff like that. So we're going to keep trying to kind of get into that as we go too.
All right, on, man. Now, so are you guys mainly focusing on your own brand, or are you guys rebuilding other people's shocks, or how are you doing that?
Oh, that's a good question. A little bit of both. We're definitely trying to get our in-house brand where we want it before we start pushing it a lot harder. We've used ARS's stuff mostly in the last few years. Even my shock packages that I was doing with Sonny before I came to work with him.
I'm familiar with those. Those are nice.
Right. ARS builds a really good product, and so we've been using that. But we would eventually like to have our own in-house brand that we can push. It just kind of, when it's in our hands, instead of having to go through someone else, we can work with stuff a lot quicker. Not have to be at the will of another company if they are behind or whatever.
I get it.
So yeah, kind of trying to work that route for sure. But
right on, man. I'm hoping you guys succeed, and I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' further products.
I appreciate that, man.
Oh yeah, you guys are obviously. It seems like you're seeing the Bandit shocks on more and more cars, especially the micros, and hell, even just this past weekend. It's the first time I noticed Brockton Williams. I think he got a new hyper, and he's on Bandit shocks. And look what he did.
That's a deadly combo.
Right. Yeah.
That's a deadly combo.
My package that I've been doing for the last few years on the hyper stuff is definitely probably my best combination. Brockton's actually, he's been on Sonny's stuff the last few years on his Factor Ones. Yeah. And then when he switched and got the hyper, Brian, his dad, called me and was like, "Hey man, what do I need? What do I need to do? Get me something going, because that's obviously your gig." And we got him a good package, and he seemed pretty happy with it. They were obviously really fast Saturday and won from, I think, 4th. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yep. Right out of the gate. All right. So let's go on to the next thing. What got you started in racing, man? What got you hooked? The first racetrack you ever attended? Let's just get you started on where you grew up and what got you going.
That's a tough question, because I've been in it since, before I was born. My grandpa's had sprint cars since I don't even know, really, 60s, 70s. It's been a long time since my grandpa had been in the sprint car game. And my first race, I was probably a few months old, and it was probably Farmington or Hopstad. I don't know. My dad was running 410s for my grandpa around that time. And I know they ran a lot of Hopstad. They didn't mess with Farmington too much, but they ran there a little bit for, I think, a few years. I don't know. They were kind of all over the place, but it's hard to say my first race, or even really the first race I remember. But definitely since I was born, I've just been around it. Mostly open wheel, sprint cars at first, and then micros. My dad got into micros about 93. And so I grew up around Marion and Wayne City a lot from 93 until about 02 when I started running. So yeah.
So you were at Hopstad back when they ran every Sunday a lot with the late models and 410 wings?
I might have been. It's hard to say. I would have been so young if I was. I don't know when my grandpa and dad and all them stopped going to Hopstad. I know they kind of gotten away from it. It might have been before I was born. I just,
I was just I was touching base on that because you're 33 now?
34, just turned 34. Back in February.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I'm just right about your age too, and I grew up at Hopstad every Sunday too with my father and awesome. Uncle or father's cousin and stuff. So, Kyle, you have anything to feed off of that? I know we want to talk more about your grandfather's sprint car and stuff like that, because he had some pretty big names, I think, who drove.
Oh, yeah. So I'm pretty fortunate. So on my working days, I get to work with Brad's dad. So on lunchtime, I get to have a history lesson of basically racing. Mm-hmm. And dude, it is awesome. That's probably one of the perks of my job, is just getting to hear all these stories. So coming into racing, I started in like 2009. I was new to it. I barely knew the McDaniels. And what I didn't know is the racing history in that family. So correct me if I'm wrong, but your dad or your grandfather had some huge names in the racing world driving for him. So tell us a little about that.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He, so one of the biggest names, obviously, that got to run for him for a little bit, I think for about 2 years through like 70, maybe 78, 79, 80, somewhere around there. Ken Schrader ran for him quite a bit there for a while.
Huge.
The only World of Outlaw sprint car race that Schrader ever won was actually for my grandpa at Granite City. So that was kind of
no
cool.
shit.
My grandpa got to win an outlaw show. Chuck Amati, that's a huge name around here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, Tom Corbin, Cliff Cockrum, Shane's dad. He drove for my grandpa for a long time, and I know that was one of my grandpa's favorite drivers he had. Some other ones that I don't necessarily remember all the names that were probably big back in their day. You just kind of, I don't know, a lot of memorable drivers to people of that time who not only remember their drivers, but remember them in my grandpa's car. So it's kind of neat. I wish I could have
that is
been
cool.
around for all of that.
It's pretty awesome. All right. So is that all you got, Kyle, on that thing? So I mean,
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's a lot of big names in that car.
How do you follow up that? That's a roster.
Yeah. Hey, we're done. Sorry. Nice talking to you.
There's probably more cool ones that I've been forgetting. My dad, like Kyle said, man, Dad knows all that stuff because he's around a lot more of it.
Like I was just telling Cody and Kyle here earlier, I think you shared a post that Chuck Amati had back in 2015 about your grandfather's car, and it had like Jack Howden Child. And
that's right. I think
Jack Hewitt and names like that.
I forgot about that.
I'm just like, holy smokes. Yep. I did not. I had no idea until Kyle said your history was deep. So I was just like, man, this is gonna be a good podcast. And so
right.
No, so cool. We've been looking forward to this for like all week since we started it.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's Tuesday, so I mean, it's not very long.
No, like a week prior.
We've been looking for it all one day.
Yeah, like 4 hours.
And I was asleep for 3 of it.
So excited.
OMG.
All right, dude. Man. All right. We'll go on to the next thing.
All right, if you want.
Hey, favorite track. Favorite track you've been to that you've ever been to and why? And then also a track that you haven't been to and that you would like to go to. Oh,
good questions. So I think I have to say my favorite track that I've been to is Lawrenceburg. It's neat. It's fast. The facility is incredible. I don't know. I've seen a lot of really good races there. I've not got to see the Outlaws there since they've been going the last 3 or 4 years, and I've been wanting to. I'm really thinking about trying to swing it this year now that I can kind of just go as I want.
I was supposed to go with you like last year or 2 years ago, wasn't I?
I thought we had talked about that.
We talked about it and something came up. I don't know if it was a weather thing or if it was just.
It might have been.
My works. I don't know. I remember you asked me to go.
Because they do it on Memorial Day. So it's like, okay, Monday is fine. But then trying to get back to work Tuesday when I'm 6.5 hours away or whatever.
Probably what it was. I don't know. I rested you as me and Kyle would say. I'll say I'll do it and I'll be like, shit.
I get rusted a lot.
But no, that place is really neat. I've seen several sprint car races there, and I've seen a Indiana Midget Week race there. I don't know. It's cool. So I probably have to stick to that. Tracks I've not been that I want to go to. I don't know. That's tough. I wasn't prepared for that one. I should have been thinking more on it probably. There's some neat tracks in California that I've wanted to go to, and I forget which ones are which out there.
I was always going to touch base with the one that's on the beach. Ventura, is that what it is out there?
Yeah,
I think so.
You always see you always see the beach like right next to the pitch. You're just like, man, I bet that's awesome. Get
right.
Fucking day drunk on the beach. Walk
It'd be neat.
Walk over to the track.
Huset's. I used to always want to go to Huset's. That honestly, I'm going to go with Huset's. I think I've always want to go there. It seems like when that place is right, it's pretty badass. So
that does look awesome.
Yeah, I think they got a large race coming up, don't they?
They probably do. I know they'd been back trying to get that place big again. So that'd be one of them. And Cedar Lake. I forget about that place all the time, but I've always want to go there too.
Yeah, Huset's seems like an elbows up type place. So that looks like it's a fun place to go to.
Yeah, so I guess those would be my 2.
Cool. All right, dude. Hey, we're moving right along then, huh? How about that? How's it feeling out there in the outer space right now? You feeling all right?
Oh yeah, I'm all right. I mean, sometimes you just kind of lose track of gravity and stuff, and just kind of get going or whatever. But it's been neat. It's my first trip to outer space.
Elon really helped you out there.
Yeah. Thank God, because I'm poor, but he's got a lot of money.
Yeah,
but, it's just been neat. Sometimes you lose your sense of ground, but
yeah, I understand.
Right.
But in his hand, weightless in space.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my weight really has drastically went down a lot since I've been here. I've been a big fan of that. But I don't know.
That's fucking hilarious.
Have you guys ever seen Gravity?
Yes.
Yes.
Great movie. You got to watch it with all the lights off, no sound. Like it's got to be pitch black, and it'll just freak you out.
Yeah. I'm more of a fan of the Matt Damon movie. What was
The
that
Martian?
called?
That's my favorite.
Yeah, The Martian.
I've watched The Martian probably a dozen times. It's incredible.
Yeah, that was a good one.
No.
spread the crap on the potatoes and they just
Blows
boom,
up.
food.
It's botany.
spoiler,
Blew up.
Duh.
It's botany. That's right. All right, dude.
Science the shit out of this.
All right. So, dude, okay. So the past few years I've known you and stuff, like you've been a huge help to like my program, getting my base set up and whatnot. And obviously we wouldn't be as quick as we were without your help and stuff like that. So as far as your speed sequence and stuff, you teamed up at the Purdue's a couple years ago. Tell me how and how you got with them and how you met them and just basically how you've helped Aiden's career almost take up like a rocking ship. Like I don't remember, I started back in 2015 as in the micro scene, and I don't really recall his name that much, but his name just to me it popped up, and then he was winning races, and I seen you with him, and it was just like, boom, Aiden Purdue. So tell me how
He's a
you
gasser.
yeah. Obviously, he's a tremendous young talent. So, but tell me how you met up with their family and got him going in the direction he's going now.
Right. And I appreciate you mentioning that. I did. It was fun getting to help you for a little bit there. That was definitely cool. When Aiden came on, I've actually been helping him since it was either the end of 2016 or 2017. I'd have to go back and look, but funny enough, so I was running social media stuff for Joe B. Miller. Obviously, Joe B is like my brother, and so he's not really on the social medias, and that was kind of my gig, and I was just trying to help him out and trying to get him going. So while I'm doing his social media stuff, Rod, Aiden's dad, messages Joe B looking for help on his hyper, and I'm all like, hey, this is Brad McDaniel. Like Joe B doesn't really get on here, but I know some setup stuff. Like I've been around it, kind of been working on it, whatever. What can I help you with? And so I got talking to Rod, and they were getting ready to go. I think they just got back from shootout and were getting ready to go to some restrictor race down in Texas with like Now Series maybe or something. And they went down there, and he only got a few laps in, and he was like super stoked with the car. And then they grenaded a brand new motor.
And been there, done that.
Oh yeah, so they turn around, drive all the way back home from Texas after getting like 3 laps in, and Rod was just like, "Oh my god, the car was like awesome! Like I've never seen it like that. Like what do I need to do to get more help from you?" And so I kind of like started helping them over the phone there the next few months, and then I went to do coin with them, I think actually, and helped him there, and was bouncing back and forth between helping him a little bit, and I was still working for Carly Gress at the time for her and her dad Rich, and so I was kind of going with them full time, and then if they weren't racing, I'd pop in and go with Purdue's, and just kind of started helping develop Aiden, trying to kind of get some of the quarter midget habits out of him that don't really apply well to the micro stuff. He was young, and Rod, had never been around racing, so he didn't really know how to direct his kid. And obviously, I'd raced for 15 years or so. So I was kind of able to apply some of that along some setup knowledge and kind of start working with them. And the next year, I started going full time with them and had a little bit of a rough year. That first year we went full time. Rod and Aiden both were wanting to run Power Eye, and as you guys both know, like Power Eye is no joke. Like that's a tough gig, and we just weren't ready for it. And I was kind of against it, but I just it wasn't my choice to make. And we tried it, and we tore up a lot of stuff. We got humbled very quickly, and so the next year we went and did a full season at SIR because SIR's got a great track. They've got a great points, championship deal for the outlaw class. And I was like, just let's do this. Let's get fast. We'll make money every night. We can win a hyper, win a new chassis kit or whatever, frame and body. And so we went and did that, and we won. As promised, like, here we go, guys. We did it. And that was really what we needed. Like we got fast really quick doing that and just kind of took off. And now, I don't know, me and Aiden have a really good bond, and we understand each other. He knows what I'm looking for and what I'm going to ask him as soon as he gets out of the car, and it helps him know what he needs to be feeling for in the car. And it's just kind of, we've developed together, and now we've got this really good bond that he gets out of the car and he'll just flat out, tell me exactly what things doing or not doing. And we just do work and get fast.
That's awesome. That's good to know. I mean, as far as that goes too, that's basically the year I think I remember you guys seeing Aiden's name a lot was that year you decided to run SIR full time. That's basically where I was running every single week. So I remember seeing that name pop up a lot, and then it seemed like every week I was getting my ass kicked by a young Aiden Purdue. And then
Yeah, he would have been 12 or 13 at the time. I don't know. He's pretty young.
yeah, I know. I was like, Jesus, who is this son of a bitch? But yeah, dude.
Fucker
So
stands on it.
yeah, I know, right, Donnie? So based off of that, like future plans this upcoming season. I mean, what's his? I mean, I know he's progressing, doing a lot of running Daniel Robinson's midget and stuff, and I know you maybe have a hand in that as well. So, what are your future plans for this upcoming season? Does he have any plans that you know of as far as running more than just the midget, sprint car stuff, basically? And then do you plan on helping him throughout the next year or two?
All right. Plans right now. We had originally hoped to have been able to get him in a winged 410 car this year. That had kind of been our goal to work towards last few years. And so far we're not really there yet. It's just obviously financially. I mean, it's tough. You know, you've got a sprint car. You know.
Yeah, had one.
Right.
Financially couldn't afford it.
Right. You know, they're expensive, and Rod's trying. He's still, I guess, thinking about it more than I realized. We didn't really talk about it much last year, so I kind of thought it was out the window, and then he brought it up actually last week. So we still want to get him there. It's just a matter of coming up with money, you know, to do it. We kind of keep hoping that we can find some people that want to get behind the kid, want to get behind us. So I do think that me and him could make it happen and be pretty tough. We just, you know, got to get the money. So that's still out there. It's just, you know, how are we going to do it? So we'll be running the micro a lot still this year, trying to kind of go typically where we think that we can make some money back. You know, maybe even leave with more than we brought, kind of deal. We did go to Macon last weekend, just trying to kind of prepare because we're going to be at Macon this coming weekend with Power Eye, and we didn't run there all last year. We haven't been there with our ladder car that we swapped to last year, so we're just kind of wanting to get a night there before we just jumped into Power Eye, hoping not to look like complete idiots. And then yeah, he's going to be running. I think he's been running Daniel's midget. I don't know, probably a dozen times or so this year. I haven't really talked to him completely on that. I've kind of gotten away from that deal. Not, you know, we had a rough chili bowl. Me and the McCreary crew just kind of, you know, didn't quite vibe like we had hoped to, like we do outside of the track. So we just kind of all mutually agreed that it's going to be better for me to stay away from that and them to kind of do that thing, and me to stay with the micro. And I totally get that, and that's been pretty cool. Obviously got to win DuQuoin, and that was awesome. So I think as much as Aiden knows and has a feel for what he wants and what is fast, I don't think it really matters anymore if I'm with him on that or not. Like, I think they're going to be able to cater to that and get him fast. I think they're gonna be able to get him up front. Daniel's got great stuff. So
for sure, he's got some really good stuff. I mean, I did see Aiden also got that victory at Macon. They had quite a bit of cars there too. A lot of wing cars there for up there on a weekly show. So, but yeah, he picked up that win. I didn't see exactly how, you know, who was there and how the track was and whatnot, but it seemed like he pretty much swept the night, won the heat race and won the feature. So
yeah,
it was all good, looking good.
It was good. We kind of screwed up on gear in the feature. We took off like a bat out of hell and we're just flying. I think we had put like a lap like 4/10 quicker than anybody else put down in the feature. We were kind of doing that all night. I mean, the heat race we won by literally spot on half of the track. We were rolling. But yeah, we between kind of just not really sure what the track's gonna do because I don't run there enough. I was off on gear, and then we actually had a right rear shrink up pretty bad on us. It was a new tire, and when it got hot and had low pressure in it, it shrunk. We lost about 1.5 inches, and
damn.
Yeah, so it really screwed our gear bad. And Aiden came back in, and I was just kind of talking to him. I was like, man, it's like, what's the deal? He's like, man, I can't run the top. He's like, it's just on the chip too hard. And no, it's just on the chip. And
oh, okay.
I was like, where at? And he's like, He's like, right about the flag stand. I was like, oh my God. And he never
Damn.
made a whole lap around the top. He ran the bottom in 3 and 4 and the top 1 and 2, and it was still hitting the chip.
I
of the
was gonna say,
flag
I was
stand.
watching some of Sarah's videos, and it looked like he
Yep.
was just running the bottom. I was like, I guess the track rubbered up. I don't know what happened, but he was
No,
just running the bottom.
it finally started getting pretty slick down there, but it never blew off completely. But it never got close to rubber. Honestly, if anything, I thought it might have rubbered on top. I went out after the race and was
Gotcha.
checking, and it was like dull black around the top.
I just know how Macon
Oh yeah,
it was
their
notorious
power
for
at
taking rubber.
shows. Yeah, you get
Yeah,
the midgets out there, and they'll put some rubber down. It's
Yeah.
really hard on that place.
that place is so fun when it gets up on the wall though in a micro. It
Yep.
seems like it's like a gradual, then it's like a steep banking. And it's so fun to run up
Oh,
against
man,
that
it's
wall.
fun.
All right, dude. So all right, let's get back to you. Some of your biggest moments in racing. What's one of your most memorable moments, whether you're racing or somebody you're with, big win, or anything really?
Man, that's
The first thing you
tough.
think of in your memory is just like, boom, big win, big, maybe an accident, anything like that, which I think Kyle can feed off of that too, as far as the past.
Right. I'm so bad about remembering like
I can't remember
results
last
and
week, so
stuff.
that's all right.
Right. It's just it all starts running together. I remember like the most excited I've ever probably been in racing. We were having a really good run at the Sprague last year, and
Mhm.
we had about a little over a straightaway on them, about halfway mark, and we're just terrorizing them. I mean, it was unreal.
Yeah, I was
The only
watching.
thing, yeah, like the only thing I can compare it to is that year, one of the years Flood won. He had about a half track lead on him, and that's I was sitting there thinking like, man, we're so fast right now that we're just on another planet, and that was probably like the coolest, most
Literally.
memorable thing to me, right? Just out here in space. So I don't know. It just that's the thing that I remember the most in our career. And I mean, we've had wins that were pretty big and whatnot, but I mean, you get down to the big shows at Marion and the size of the crowd and just it. I don't know the anticipation that it creates and the
Oh, for
energy
sure.
there. It's wild. And so like I knew like man, this is what I've been trying to do the whole time with this kid is get
Mhm.
him seen and I just that was the most accomplished I felt. Like I finally felt like, man, I did it. I've got this kid just absolutely kicking their ass at the biggest non-wing show of the year.
Yeah, it almost seemed like week in and week out on these lock-in shows, you had him locked into the shows. I mean, it didn't matter where you went.
Right,
If you went anywhere, he was seemed like you seen his name locked into the top six, the top,
right,
whatever they were locking in that night.
yeah,
And like you said, Marion, it provides that atmosphere that most micro tracks don't provide.
right,
And
right.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's not like they have a huge stands or anything like that, but the fans are so packed in. There's so many
Yep,
people there, and it's just the atmosphere of
yep,
you
yep.
know, and of course, Marion being the most prestigious micro track in the nation, or one
It
of.
is. I mean, it's
So,
huge.
and
Really
it provides a
prominent.
big and it brings the competition.
Yep.
So, like you said, just the atmosphere and stuff itself. So, I recall. It seemed like I think his first Power Eye victory was at Belleville, wasn't it?
The only one.
The
We've
only
only
one.
gotten one.
I remember when you won that one, and that just seemed like that was one of the happiest pictures I've seen. It seemed like of Aiden was
Yeah,
whenever
he
he
was
won
stoked.
that thing. Yeah,
He
so
was really stoked.
that was a big victory.
That was cool. No, that was neat. I don't know. I guess the only thing on that one that didn't quite sell it for me as much as like where we were sitting at the Sprague that night, which we didn't even win, but the track that night at Belleville, Belleville had been struggling with track conditions there for a few years, and so I knew that as soon as we won, that all people were gonna say was that track was this and blah blah blah, and I'd already had in my head that people weren't going to give us enough credit for what we did,
Yeah.
and so I was kind of down myself a little bit, which sucks because we did. I mean, we won it outright and we were fast, but I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
like
I was
Sprague, you
already
have best of the nation, so it's just
right.
like you have everyone. Yeah, yeah. So I got you on that. Kyle, you got anything to add as far as that goes? I know
Yeah.
you had a few things to maybe add on that.
So, Brad, I know you talk a lot about Aiden, and I totally respect that. I kind of want to know what your biggest moment is. Going to races with you, I got to learn a little bit about your past as well. One thing that sticks out to me that really kind of is terrifying in a way is, didn't you get in an accident and there was involved in a fire?
Oh man, yeah, good call.
Yeah, I know it's probably tough to talk about some, but let's try to hit on that a little
Oh
bit.
God, no, it's fun to talk about. That show's crazy. We were running Granite City, Illinois, Tri-City Speedway. I think this was 2006. I think it was like October 8th, 06, if I remember, because it's like 10/8/6. And we were out in the feature on they used to have the little quarter mile inside of the big half. And I mean, we're starting like, I don't know, back like 14th or some shit. I mean, we're not, anywhere great. And we get going and everybody's rolling and it's just kind of dumb, just wide open, one groove, everybody on the bottom, just kind of in a line. And Tank, Jimmy Bridgman, he was leading and locked up a motor in front of the whole field, and everybody just next person hits him, the next person hits them, and next thing you know, there's like 12 fucking cars flipping everywhere. And it's just like I get into one and it's a fucking melee and you just don't even know where to go. There's just cars flipping up the track, there's cars flipping down the track, they're parked, and it's just a fucking parking lot. And you're going wide open in the black slick. And so I'm out of the gas and like trying to just get the thing under me where I can maneuver and get somewhere. And I ended up hitting somebody. And I don't even remember who it was at the time. It was either one of the Kings or one of the Laskies. But hit them, flipped over, and I kind of landed like kind of halfway like up on the left front, like kind of upside down, kind of on the side or whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like crap. And I'm watching cars still flipping like under my wing and shit. And next thing you know, like I'm looking up and everything's kind of settled down, like everything's chill. And I see like feet kind of whatever. They're kind of helping people get out of cars. And I look up and I see this puddle of blue flame.
Uh-oh.
And I was like,
Shit.
oh shit. And I'm trying to be cool because it's like, you know what? Like I'm not on fire. I just see fire. And I'm kind of getting like worried. You watch all these movies, you see shit like blow up. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to fucking blow up? Like what the fuck is going to happen here? So I start yelling fire, just, not frantically, but just, hey, I need to get these people's attention so they can do something about it. And so I yell fire and I start seeing feet come my way. And next thing I know is I start seeing like fire extinguishers blowing on it. And it just doesn't really seem like it's doing much. And it's like, all right, I'm still strapped in. Like I didn't even unstrap because I'm like, fuck it. What am I going to do? Unstrap and fall in the flame? Like, I'll just keep chilling. So I'm just kind of sitting up in it. Well, Derek King had also gotten in the wreck and he gotten out of his car. And I don't know if you know much about the Kings and pulling people out of car fires, but they are notorious. Like Derek's pulled like 3 people out of car fires. Rick pulled a couple people out. Kara pulled a couple people out. Like they're spot on. Like I don't know what Rick taught them when they were kids, but it's like get the fuck out of the car and pull them out. So Derek flips me over onto all fours. Well, when he did, it fucking exploded. Like, I mean, movie style, like this motherfucker goes, boom! And I remember Dad specifically telling me, because he was running out on the track at this point, because I'd been upside down for a minute and never knew that there was a fire. So Dad had took off running out on the track. And I remember him specifically telling me, he's like, I could feel the compression in the air when that thing blew up.
Damn.
And yeah, and there was a video at one point, someone was in the stands and they were videoing and you see the wreck, and they shut their video off, and then they actually turn the video back on when they realize that there's a fire, and there's an ambulance that came in front of my car, between my car and where they were videoing from, and when it blew up, the fucking flame was bigger than the ambulance, and I was like, oh my God. And there's a photo, I've actually got one of them on my Facebook of it on fire pretty big, but yeah, it blew up in flames. And that's when I started freaking out. And I remember being in there and trying to pull my visor open because I couldn't see. Because there was like, I don't know if it was the smoke or it was fogging up or what. But I just remember that. And I couldn't because of my gloves. And I finally was like, dude, fucking idiot. Stop. Don't pull your visor open. You're in a fire. So I stopped that shit. And I started worrying about trying to get my buckles undone and get unbelted, get out of there. And Derek is back in my left side trying to pull me out of the car. Well, I run a Y strap on my arm restraints, and I had the Y strap woven into the metal linkage on my 5-point. Mm-hmm. And my right crotch, or what was it? My crotch belt my right shoulder harness and my right hip belt had all gotten like locked in and wouldn't come undone because they'd slid over that Y strap. And Derek is yanking me, and I remember he yanked me so hard that I had a black bruise all the way around my inner thigh. He pulled the shit out of me trying to get me out of the fucking car. And I'm sitting there trying to get undone, and I remember Kara, his sister, had actually gotten in the right side of my car and was down in there trying to help me get my belts undone. And Derek like finally falls down and like crawls away from the car because he was like getting smoked out between the fire and the fire extinguishers. And Matt Lineman, who his daughter now runs, he was a EMT, fireman, whatever at the track. And when I finally got my belts undone, Matt had just gotten there and pulled me the rest of the way out of the car and got me out of there. And it was the scariest shit I've ever been involved in. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
It burnt my beard off, which I only had a goatee at the time, but it was gone. It burnt through like the back of my suit, just a little bit on the back of my arm. And got my arm a little bit, but not too bad. But, besides a lot of burn up equipment and parts, I was completely fine. I coughed up smoke the entire way home. I remember like coughing, and my mom was in the front seat, and she's like, "Oh my God, like I can smell smoke like in your lungs. You're coughing it up."
Oh, Cheech and Chong up front. Okay.
Yeah, right. But it was like,
dang, bub.
It was fire smoke and smoke extinguisher dust, and it was so nasty.
Oh, that halon's terrible, man.
Right. And I was coughing it up the whole way home.
So real quick, that suit, was that the infamous blue sky suit?
Oh, that's a good question. That might have been the blue sky suit. I don't remember if that was the one I got before or after that fire.
Because I'm going to go ahead and guess that suit probably doesn't fit anymore.
No, nothing I own fits anymore. Not even the clothes that I wear every day.
Son of a bitch.
So yeah, anything I wore 15 years ago, I'm lucky to like look at it without fucking,
You're drying it too long. That's what I say.
I know, and I get so lazy. I don't want to hang dry it, wait, because I'm always procrastinating my laundry. It's bad. Like kids, if you're listening, hang dry your laundry.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And wear sunscreen.
And stop drinking beer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. So
I get it. My favorite part is actually coming up now because these are the fun questions.
Special session.
All right, Brad. We'll go on to the next few questions. It's a little bit more personal. Not really personal at all, actually, but I'm going to ask you a few questions that I ask everybody. Let's start by saying, what are some of your hobbies outside of racing? Like most people know you for the racing scene, working around the racing industry. So tell us a little bit about your hobbies outside of the racing.
Besides being thick.
Man, so first and foremost, man, music. Like I live and die by music. Like that's shit's my life. Did a lot of concert going when I was in St. Louis. That was probably about my favorite part about living in St. Louis. Huge just audiophile. So that's definitely first and foremost, like closest thing that even exists in my life next to racing. I watch a lot of movies and TV, kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say like a film buff, like, but kind of close. Like I don't know, I like really, really good cinema. Used to play poker a lot. I haven't done it in a long time, and I really miss it.
Man, I just played poker at my neighbor's house a couple weeks
really?
ago. Yeah, I took all their money, but dude,
Nice.
I used to love poker.
Yeah,
I still play on I got a little Poker Stars app and stuff.
Oh,
I
nice.
still play
Yep.
on.
Yeah, I used to play. At one point, I was playing like 3 to 5 nights a week every week.
Really?
And yeah, I was at one point I was making more money playing poker than I was when I was working about 50 hours a week, working the old Steak and Shake
God
Carbondale.
Phil,
Must be
help me.
nice to be rich.
I was making pretty good money. It was pretty cool. So I used to do that a lot, but haven't in a while. I've kind of even, haven't been involved in baseball as much as I was. I don't know. I get so consumed with racing that it kind of doesn't leave me a lot of room for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's hard to make time for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And
So
I
you're
don't
pretty
even
much
mind it.
so you're pretty much like a movie quoter. Pretty much any kind of movie you can
Yeah,
pretty much pop quotes at any time.
I try. I mean, I'm not great at always remembering quotes, but there is stuff that sticks out in my head. So
Yeah, I work with a guy
just
like
kinda
that. He's just
hit and miss.
huge movie buff.
Right.
All right, dude. So I mean, obviously, well, since you talked about music a little bit, I will go ahead and skip a couple of questions. Go down to what kind of music are you listening to when you're pumping out shocks at the shop? I mean, you got
Oh,
music. You got music
man.
playing while you're
Oh
doing that
God,
stuff.
yeah. It's
What you got?
usually rock. I'll bounce around and I'll get back into rap and hip hop some, but I'm definitely a rocker to the
Mhm.
core. You give me a lot of Queens of the Stone Age kind of stuff. I seem to follow along like they call it stoner rock a lot.
Yeah.
Queens of the Stone Age, Caius, kind of, Greenleaf, shit like that. It's
Mhm.
just kind of boomy, I don't know, whatever. Like that's definitely my shit. But there's all kinds of stuff I get into. You get into kind of some goofier stuff like Death from Above. That's one of my favorite bands, and they're kind of out there on a different side. Tool,
Cool.
do a lot of Foo Fighters. Foo
I love
Fighters.
Tool.
So Foo
Yeah,
Fighters.
Tool's
Fighters.
incredible. I actually got to see Tool live in St. Louis a couple of years ago, and that was really neat.
Really?
I've seen Queens of the Stone Age once, seen Foo Fighters about 6 times, saw Death from Above, Cloud Nothing. Dude, the list goes on. Local H, man, they're one of my favorites, and I hate they've never really seemed to get huge. And there's an incredible band. I've seen them live probably 4 times, and it's the best show you'll ever see.
Cool. Shout out Local H. All right.
Right,
Cool.
right.
Awesome. I'll let your boy. All right, dude. Let's go back on track a little bit. Well, I don't want to bring it up too much, but favorite food.
Too many to name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me get my
What's
list
not?
out.
It's like a CVS receipt.
Man, I hate to tell you, like, I gotta admit, like, if I see someplace has prime rib on the menu, I'm gonna order that shit medium rare. It better be fucking bleeding when it gets here. And
I'm so happy you said that.
right, like, and just I want it fucking 20 ounces. Like, just give me all the prime rib you got. I'm going to stuff myself sick. Roll me out the door.
Yeah. I'm in a group chat. They're like, "Oh yeah, man, well done all the time." I'm like,
They're joking with you.
Get the hell out of here.
Right.
You want gum?
You suck. You suck. Probably no friends. Daddy issues. Mom left you.
Daddy issues.
Like, whatever. Yeah, no. Well, like if they say medium and don't say rare after it, I just count them out. I'm just like, you don't know food. That's fine. I'm fat and you're not, and that's why you're not fat, because you don't enjoy good food. Good for you.
Exactly.
But I'm fucking eating good.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Go get your salad and get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But yeah, my old lady gets mad every time I order something. Because I love medium rare. I always say MR.
Oh, yeah.
And that's also another reference for a different thing. So let's move on. Favorite beverage, adult or not? What's your favorite beverage you like to partake on having?
So it's funny, like everyone that knows me well, this blew Kyle's mind for sure when I started drinking beer, because I did not, for so long, and now I've gotten so heavily into craft beer. And so it's not just necessarily like one specific one. I probably do have about 40 different ones that I really kind of like fall back to all the time. But I've tried like 400 different beers since I've been drinking the last 3 years. So
Damn.
just like everything I try, it's like Pokemon, man. Gotta catch them all. So I mean, just in general, I do enjoy craft beer, IPAs and stouts, kind of mostly, and I've been getting the sours lately, which is funny because the first time I tried a sour, I couldn't hardly stand it, so I just kind of acquired a taste for that. And then if I'm not drinking beer, like I'm straight for the fucking Mountain Dew. Just fucking let's get amped.
Fuck, like spider monkey, goddamn.
Oh,
no, I hear you, dude. I mean, there's a time where I love just going to places like restaurants and they have like local breweries and stuff like that.
Right.
Just trying stuff. I love trying new things. So there's always something like that. So
yeah,
I actually bought something today. It was called like a dreamsicle beer. But
dude, is it not good?
That's a shame. Good. Okay,
some of those are really good.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it was definitely the percentage level of it was pretty good. It was higher, but it was very hoppy. It didn't taste anything like a dreamsicle. Like it was literally like
strike out.
Exactly. It was like it's like, hey, this thing is supposed to taste like a dreamsicle. It tastes like,
assholes.
Like, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say,
Yeah, some of them strike
tastes
out.
like dirty butthole.
Right.
And
I wonder what kind of beer it was, because a lot of it, when you get in those adjunct flavors, the flavor really needs to go with the style of beer, and you'll see people
for sure.
try to do, like an orange dreamsicle, but they'll try to do it in an IPA, and it can be hard
Yeah.
to kind of get like that vanilla creamy flavor in an IPA or whatever.
Yeah, like I tried one the other week. It was like a chocolate coffee type deal, and it was
Stout.
amazing. It
Yep.
was like a stout, and it was
Yep.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
So
That's what I'm drinking right now. So I was showing you guys
the stout,
Goose Island. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, it's good
I really
stuff.
enjoy those. All right, dude. So next question. What pisses you off the most besides left lane cruisers?
Oh my God. Well, I guess if I got to pick something else,
I love seeing your usually like a Snapchat. You're just
I
somebody in
used
the
to
left lane
all the
cruising.
time. Oh man, when I was driving more, I sent them all the time.
Yeah, this mother.
And I just start yelling like I road rage like a motherfucker. Oh man.
I was like, we're about to see Brad on the news.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I figured it would have happened
mass
by now.
murder.
I'm surprised it hasn't. Yeah. Just, I mean, not even necessarily like mass
Highway
murder, but like
shooter.
that guy like killed someone on the highway.
Black 350Z heading north.
So you see how bad he is right now. Go back a few years whenever he was driving like 16 to 18 hours a day.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's not lying. Like when I was on the road that much, I was just losing my fucking mind. It was crazy. So I am really bad, and I hate being like this because I'm sure it's not an easy job. But when I go to a racetrack that it's not, there's not passing, I'm very passionate about racing. People that know me know that, obviously. I mean, my God, the last 2 jobs I've been in have been in racing. I work on race cars. You know, that's what I live, eat, breathe, sleep, whatever.
Mhm.
And I put so much time and effort and thought and energy, and I stress myself over trying to make my car the fastest one on the track. And when I go to a track that it doesn't matter how fast you are, if you didn't start up front, you're probably not going to win. There's nothing on earth that infuriates me more. And I mean, I'll stew over it all week and be so pissed off. Um, just because I don't know, I don't want to go there knowing, man, I was the fastest car and I didn't even win. I didn't have a chance at winning.
So like
Like,
DeQuine.
and you know what? Props to Jeremy Sneed.
This
Jeremy, if
past
you're
year was pretty
listening to
good.
this, Jeremy, if you're listening to this, you absolutely fucking killed it this year. And I've never
Yeah.
been more impressed with DuQuoin in my life. And I told you that effort every weekend, I think, or at least the first and the third. I think
Yeah,
the
like
second one struggled a little bit.
years ago, it was horrible. It
Oh, I
just
used to
okay,
hate
hey, get to
DuQuoin.
the bottom and go kart it.
Right. And I
But
mean,
this
I
past
still,
year, it was
yeah.
awesome.
Like if
I
someone
agree.
asked me what I thought about DuQuoin, I would still like generally say I still hate it, but I
It's not
trust
as
Jeremy
bad.
Sneed. I trust Jeremy Sneed with it. And I hate saying that because I know Kenny Brown has put on a lot of good shows there too.
Yeah.
When LeMaster and Knepper did it, they put on some good shows. There have been good shows. There's just been so many bad shows that have just watered it down, and it makes it hard to remember the good shows.
Sure.
Sometimes it's that you only remember the last one kind of deal. And right now, the last ones we had, Jeremy put on really good shows. So
yeah, you gotta let that bottom slick off.
right,
He's done a pretty good job at that.
he's
So.
proven himself worthy to the fact that he's taking tracks that are habitually not good or racy and made them some of the raciest tracks in the area, both with Wayne City and DuQuoin. And the dude has blown my mind. He is absolutely incredible with what he's doing.
Yep, that's pretty awesome. Kyle, you got anything else for him before I go to the Facebook questions or the fan friend?
Right.
The bullshit.
I looked through those. I don't know if I got any friends.
Yeah, actually, I got a pretty good topic. So, are you? Yeah, are you? So obviously you're a big racing guy. We all know that, but I want to know: are you a wing or non-wing guy?
Man, it's funny. Anyone that knows me probably knows what I'm going to answer. The people that don't, when they see how much we run non-wing and how good we do with it, they're probably going to be surprised. But I am a wing guy through and through.
Yes, finally.
Right.
Finally.
So I'm a corner speed guy. I really like watching the cars work. I feel like non-wing's a lot of drag racing sometimes, and when you get a good track, non-wing's really good and it's fun, it's enjoyable. But man, it's so track dependent. When it gets bad, it's just drag racing, and I get bored with that. I really like watching my car work and trying to make it work where you can really stand on the gas through the corner. And also, I feel like wing racing. I've said this for years, and it's funny. Keith Coons finally said it, and all of a sudden everyone believed it. But I've been saying it for like 6 years before that. Wing racing makes better drivers, and I've been trying to tell guys this for years. Guys that jump right into non-wing, and I'm like, guys, figure your car out with the wing, learn how to drive with the wing, and then go to non-wing. You'll be so many steps ahead of where you would have been otherwise, because you learn how to drive the car without scrubbing speed as much, and you learn what fast feels like when you've never been fast with a wing and you just jump in and start running non-wing sliding around. You don't know what it should feel like, and when you go out there with a wing and run it and feel what fast is, not that you're ever going to be that fast without wings, but you know what to aim for, and it gives you a sense of speed that you're trying to hit and a feel that you're trying to find. So I'm a wing guy through and through, and we're good at non-wing. I'm probably better at non-wing because, I mean, I hate to sound like this, but it's easier. Like the car's always doing the same thing all the time. Whereas wing, I think another part that I like so much about is there's so much to try to figure out because every time that straightaway speed or track shape or whatever is changing, it's changing what it's doing to that car based on the wing. And I love trying to keep up with that and wrap my head around it. It's so neat.
All right. So feeding off of wing and non-wing, speaking of cars and setups and all that kind of stuff, Kyle, you got anything
Yeah.
to add on to that as far as
So I remember the
what's
main
fast,
question
what's
I got
not?
whenever I was racing is everybody always asks me, what can I do to get started racing? And that's a loaded question in itself. But just say I bought a car, okay, and I had a little bit of money set aside. Brad, where do you think I should put my money towards? Like, should I do like, obviously you're a shock builder, you want to say suspension, but that's a big part of it. Or should I do, graphics, fuel, spare parts? What do you think?
So, um, it all kind of depends, what route you want to go, I guess. But if you're getting into micros, how old's the driver? Like, are we young enough that we probably need to jump into restrictor first? Are we, too old for that? Which I hate. I wish that they would have not put the age rule in restrictor because I mean, when I ran restrictor, there was grown men doing it with us, and it was great. But it's whatever. You know, I would I would definitely, and this isn't the shock builder in me. This is a crew chief in me. Get some good shocks. Like people really, what people don't, the people that don't know enough about micro racing don't understand how important shocks are, and how much they do. People, try to convince themselves it's all about the driver and they want to go in. I'm going to drive it and make it fast. Like, no, you're not. You're not going to get in a slow car and make it fast because you're just some great driver. I don't give a shit. I'll put Kyle Larson in a piece of shit car and he's going to be slow. Like, you can't drive a fast car that doesn't work and be fast in it. Or, I'm sorry, a slow car that doesn't work. You can't be fast in it.
Yeah.
And shocks, they are a big part of that. Shocks are starting to take place of springs and bars. They're doing things that springs and bars can't always do at times that they can't always do them, and people don't understand that. And the people that just get in get so convinced that, oh, well, I'm new and I'm just starting out and I don't really need to do that. Yeah, you do. You need to more than anyone because you need to start out with good stuff, getting a good feel for a car that's working. Because if you start out in a car that's working, you're going to get a better feel for it quicker and not get so discouraged. Um, so I really would. You need to have good shocks. And again, this isn't the Bandit Shocks sales pitch. This is a crew chief telling you drivers that are getting into this, get good shocks. I don't care. Everybody builds good shocks. It doesn't matter. You don't have to come to
Mhm.
me. You can go to CSI. You can go to FK. You can go to ARS. You can go to Timmy's Shock Lab out in Pennsylvania. I don't give a shit where you go. Get good shocks. Do yourself a favor. Get the right stuff that's going to give you the tools that you need to really get going quick. Because honestly, you could put all the wrong bars and springs and turns and whatever on a car, and if your shocks are what they need to be, it's going to get you closer than you would believe.
Yeah,
Um, you
I can
know,
second that too because we were running. I'm not gonna even say the name of the shocks for the first couple of years, but we got lucky the second year, but it was a shit. And as soon as we switched over to actually some good shocks, it was night and day difference
Oh, yeah.
on that.
I've made a
And
lot of people
shocks,
believe
once you get them tuned in, and especially what you've done with all your stuff, when you get them tuned in for that car, that for that driver, I mean, that's hands down the best investment you can spend on a race car.
Yep, you're not
You,
wrong.
you can run an old chassis, an old worn down chassis, and put some good shocks on it, and you're going to be
It
solid.
goes a long way. Everybody wants to dump
Yeah.
money into motor, and it just all putting money into a motor does is gives you a car that's gonna make you feel like a hero in the mud. And then when the track gets
Yep.
slick, you're gonna be struggling, and it's gonna make it even harder because it's harder to hook up all that motor if the car's not getting through the corner. And then you're just putting nights on an expensive motor that's gonna have to be turned around and rebuilt faster than a stock motor, or I say stock, even just like a built 600 would be. I don't know. It's just people need to redirect their focus on where they start and go down that. Make sure your chassis is right. Make sure you got good components on it, and make sure you got good shocks on it. And then as you start getting comfortable and you feel like, man, I'm hooked up, I'm running a lot of throttle, and I just feel like I'm getting outmotored now, then start trying to get that motor in your package. But before
Hmm.
that, I mean, it's like Purdue. I'm out there with Purdue winning races, and granted, it's a 636 because it's a Cowie and they come 636, off the bike, but it's a stock 636, and I'm out there winning races with them and running up front at the biggest shows in the country. Like, you don't have to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on your motor if you get your car working. And the biggest part about getting that car working is getting those good shocks. I'm a firm believer in it. And I think that's why I went the shock route, because I know how important they are. I was a believer in shocks before I went to build shocks.
No,
Yep.
I get that. I remember whenever we were racing, and it seemed like we bought new shocks based off kind of what you gave us, the parameters we want to do. And it's like I didn't know what a good car felt like. And then once we put the shocks on, it was like, oh, this is awesome.
Right.
Like it was motivating to get back in the car to go, because
Yeah.
it's like this thing's working.
Right.
It's a 9-day difference. I see what you're saying.
Yep. I made Coben a believer. Coben was running some other stuff and he was
Well,
struggling, and I had helped Coben for a long time. Is he still struggling? He seems like a believer.
He's
I don't
just
know.
getting up in the age category.
yeah.
Oh, right. But he
Getting
had
kind
gotten
of old.
right. But I'd helped Chris for a long time and got him going, whether he wants to admit it or not. And helped him get going. And I never really was confident with the shocks. I thought they were bad, but they just weren't what I wanted or needed with my package and how my stuff worked. And so he got decent, but he was still struggling. And I finally had gotten him onto my shock package at Bandit before I was even working at Bandit. I mean, this was, a year and a half ago. And the first thing, I mean, he called me right away and was like, oh my God. It's like, I can't believe I haven't been running this stuff. Like, this changed everything. Like, I'm fast. It's like, dude, I know. Like, I've been trying to get you on this for years now, and you just swore that the stuff you had was what you needed, and you just, wouldn't get away from it. And it makes a big difference.
No, I get it. I mean, that dude can be as fast as he wants in a race car, but we all know he's pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
Super.
that's not his fault. I try not to hold it against him. I mean, I'm fat, he's ugly, like whatever.
Yeah.
But
All right, Rusty. I think we're on the move for the Facebook questions now.
Facebook questions.
I've been
Fan
waiting all
showdown.
night for these because
figure
dude,
out
we
how
got
many
a
enemies
pretty
I have.
we got a pretty
Frenemies.
awesome response.
Yeah, you got a solid list.
Yeah.
We'll start with the easy ones from Leanne McIntosh. Which track has the best cheeseburgers? I don't know if I don't know why that was the first one, but maybe she knew that you liked food. I don't know. Best cheeseburgers.
I
If you don't
guarantee it's
say-
he.
If you don't say Hopstad, I don't know who you are, but
Oh, dude.
I don't know. I'm
I
so
double
bad
fist
about
those.
remembering. Like, food's just like, good to me, and I like food. I don't guess I
Yeah.
remember track food well. And
neither
honestly,
do
like I'm so picky about burgers, which of course, like I got this physique by being picky about burgers.
Hey, we'll get to that
But
question here in a little bit.
We'll get to that question later. But
Yeah.
when I go to a track, like I'm almost scared to get a burger because I know I'm not going to be happy with it, because I just like I make a good fucking burger. Like I had one of my best friends come over years ago, and I just moved to St. Louis and made a burger for him. And like I remember watching his eyes light up when he bit into it, and it blew his fucking
Dude.
mind. Like I make a pretty good burger, so I'm very critical of burgers, so I don't get them a lot. Like when I go to his track, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get like nachos and cheese with jalapenos, or like fucking Frito pie, whatever, tacos in a bag, like. Just give me some kind of goofy. I don't want to eat your burger because I'm probably gonna be happy with it, and I'll just get chicken fingers and fries. Honestly,
I hear you. I hear you.
you can't fuck up chicken fingers.
Dude, I love,
No.
man, 80-20 chuck roast, baby, on the burger. Dude,
Right,
okay.
right.
So, well, speaking of your physique, Brian Cataldi was actually asking, how do you keep that pristine physique that you have?
So
So
that's
he just want to know your
so
secret.
I spend a lot of my time not exercising. Uh, is that a good way to say that? I feel like
Yeah.
I was, I feel like that's the
Perfect.
best way to say that. So I spend
That's
a lot of my
nice.
time not exercising. I try to really stick to red meats a lot.
Mountain Dew. Don't forget that.
Mountain Dew, craft beer, a lot of Taco Bell. Like if you can catch Taco Bell between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m.,
Fourth meal, yeah.
fourth meal.
Oof.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they advertise it as fourth meal for a reason. That's how you keep a really
Correct.
good healthy physique. Like if you just want to be that big guy at the party that everybody's like, I bet that
I
guy's
like that
fucking
guy.
funny. I
Yeah.
bet he's funny because he's unattractive, so he's having to work so hard to like.
Yeah.
So
He's the fun
that's
one to be around.
he's the fun fucking guy. I can hear him over there laughing, and everyone else is laughing around him, so I know he's fun. And yeah, Taco Bell's been like a big secret of my physique, for sure.
Shout out Taco Bell.
Yeah, right. Hashtag sponsor me or me too or whatever.
Yeah, sponsor for
Hashtag
sure,
me
dude.
too.
Me too. Hey, next question. Dude, all right, for sure though. Next question. Hey, I don't know if you saw Daniel Robinson's question, but he said if you had to pick a beer after a big win and the Purdue's had in their cooler, the only thing they had in their cooler was a Keystone or a Natty Light, which would you choose?
That's so tough. Like both those beers
It's
suck so
fucking
bad, and
terrible.
yeah, like neither one of them taste any like better or
Hey,
worse. Like,
Natty Light Saturday though, or Natterday.
right,
Not too
yeah. I mean, if you
bad.
give me like a flavored one, I'll probably be all right. But I mean, they're not. He's just hit me with like
Yeah.
the just stone cold shitty beers. So like,
You
I
have to
guess
do
what I'm gonna
Natty.
do is like just mix them up in a cup. So it's just like I
Yeah.
know that's gonna suck because it's whatever, and I'm just gonna
Just
just
end it and right in the old funnel and take it down.
right, because it's just not gonna be good. I just
But
and what's
hey,
funny, like he gives me like specific names of like light lagers, like as if it matters, as if they don't all suck. They all fucking suck. Like let's be honest, Bud Light, Bush Light.
dude, I love
Sorry,
Bush
they
Light.
all
That's
they suck. Bush Light sucks
okay.
just as bad as Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, like light lagers are such terrible fucking beers.
Bush Lights all day. But hey, shout out
Ugh.
Jason McDougal on the Natty Lights. He needs to get that sponsorship. So hashtag Jason McDougal, hashtag Natty Light.
The
Next one.
Dukes.
Skyler asks, what nickname does Brad prefer, the Red Panda or Mike Wazowski? Tell us about that.
There's funny stories. I don't remember what happened with the Red Panda. I know we were at the McCreary shop getting Aiden fitted in the midget, and they were trying to figure out. They were joking about naming cars because Flea Ruzick, I guess, is really well known for naming his cars.
Yep.
And I don't know. Somehow we got to joking about me and Panda because I was obviously a fucking big guy or whatever, and then Red
Fluffy.
jokes, Ginger,
It's fluffy.
Fluffy, and
Yeah.
somehow Red Panda came up, and I'm not gonna lie, like that's the funniest shit ever, and like I'm down with it. Like
So why'd you
every
not
time I
call
hear
it
it.
Red Panda Speed instead of BMAX Speed?
I think VMAX speed was already going on, and Red
Okay.
Panda speed was just going to be hard to like really. It just doesn't flow as
I
well.
gotcha. Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't.
The Mike Wazowski. So we were out at I-44 last year with the midget with the McCreary team, and Aiden was running it, and that was back. I was still working on shit with him, and we were hanging out in I think the Select Coatings crew's trailer, even though none of them were around. It was literally like Ted, Tyler Edwards, And then the rest of our crew, like Lawhead was in there, and then all the McCreary crew. We're just fucking hanging out.
Yeah.
And I was just, that was probably I don't really get drunk when I drink. Like I just hang out and just have a few. But that was about the farthest I had really been towards like getting drunk, and was just wearing everybody out because I just get wound for sound. And I was fucking wearing out our boy Gabe Craig real bad. And he was just looking for anything he could to like just shoot back at me, which I totally appreciate. Like he was having fun. He's being a good sport. And somehow we got on me looking like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. And so then I actually like squatted down and made my arms like out, and they had a picture side by side of me standing there and look, and it, oh my god, it's been fucking hilarious ever since. That's pretty funny. But no, the red panda, I actually like, I'm down with that. It's funny to me. I
That's
dig
pretty
that.
awesome.
I can get with it.
Kyle, you seeing more of those questions that you want to base? Are you looking at the questions right now? You want
Yeah,
to
I got him right here.
Go ahead,
And
take over, son.
so Tyler Robbins,
Yeah, that's
funny
good.
guy, dude.
Yeah, I love T-Rob.
He's got a
T-Bird, man,
couple. Those look
So,
like some
yeah,
stories.
he's
T-Bird
got-
the way back.
He's got a couple of them, and it
Oh,
sounds
boy.
like the stories that I have with you in a certain car. We'll talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
So Tyler Robbins' first question is: are the Kokomo, Indiana police friendly?
Oh man, no, very, very much not so. Profiling or something, not racially, obviously, because I'm white, but still was getting profiled for sure. We went up to the first year they did the Kokomo Smackdown, and I went up with Tyler Robbins, Cameron King, and Gabe Carr. Like that was our crew back in like the 2011, 12, 13, 14-ish range, something like that. Uh, I had met Cameron. I'd known Tyler for a long time through racing. I went from like hating the motherfucker to like loving him when he stopped racing micros and stopped driving like an asshole. And, and I had this conversation with him one day. I was like, I used to want to kick your ass, and then you stopped racing micros, and now I love you. It was pretty funny. But so we had went out to Kokomo, and we were staying actually with Parker Price Miller and his family, Scott Ronk, and Cammy, and they were really good and hospitable to us. And we had left. We stayed after the races at the Frolic. I don't know if they probably still do the Frolic, but that was like the gathering at all the USAC shows. They had like three campers that they would put like in a, three sides of a square and just have this big ass party. Just have all the awnings squared up to each other and lights, and just everybody's drinking and playing games and shit. And we're out there till 4 in the morning. And we decided to leave and go get Steak and Shake because they had a 24-hour Steak and Shake in Kokomo. And so we're going, and Parker Price Miller's with us, and he's 14 at the time. I mean, he's a fucking kid. And we're driving, and so I was not in the Civic at this point. I was in Cameron's. He had a Oldsmobile. I don't know if it was the '88 or what. It was one of the big ass fucking Oldsmobile granny cars. And we're cruising. I'm driving because me and Parker are the only ones that haven't been drinking, and obviously he doesn't have a driver's license. And we're cruising, and he's a kid, so he's trying to give me directions, and we get up to a stoplight, and for whatever reason he forgot we needed to turn right there, and he's telling me, oh hey, turn right. So I'm at the stoplight, I turn my signal on, and I think the light turned green, or I turned right on red, or whatever. It was legal if it was, whatever it was, but I turned, and next thing you know, fucking cherries and berries behind me. I was like, all right, like whatever, it's late, I get it, I've been pulled over. People always fucking thinking you're drunk when you're driving around at 4 in the morning. So get pulled over. We're sitting there, and another cop car comes up, and finally they come up, walking around both sides of the vehicle, and they start talking to us. And I don't remember everything that happened because it's been so long ago, but I remember them asking us a lot of specific questions about the races once they figured out that's where we had left, because you could tell they were like really trying to see if I was drunk. And obviously the three, guys with me were completely fucking drunk. And then little Parker's in the back, just fucking 14, just chilling. And I'm
What's
in
up,
the
guys?
front driving.
I'm just happy to be here.
Right, he was. And Cameron King is up with me, and he's goofy as fuck anyway. And he's just doing dumb shit, like just drawing more attention. I was like, man, stop. Like, dude, you're not making this any fucking easier. And so they're hassling us, dude. And more cops keep coming, until the point there was fucking 4 cop cars and 8 fucking police officers behind, in front of, around our fucking car. And I remember specifically sitting there while this fucking, like, I don't know, early 80s square body, like fucking Caprice or some shit drives by with 20s fucking just banging, just loud ass stereo. This fucking ghetto looking dude. And I remember telling the cop, that's the fucking guy you should probably be fucking with right now, and you're fucking wasting my time. And he just like, but I didn't give a fuck because I knew I didn't do anything. Like, I'm not drinking because at the time I didn't drink, and I didn't do anything wrong. Like, fuck you, you're wasting my fucking time. And I love cops. Like, I have no problem with cops, but don't fucking sit there and harass me. Like, let's get to the point, whatever. So they had us there for like 20 fucking minutes, and at one point in this, they want to see everybody's IDs. So we're all getting our IDs out, and the guy's going through them, and he's counting. He's like, you can see he's matching up IDs with face. He's like, I only got 4 IDs. I was like, well, the fucking kid in the back's 14. What the fuck do you want me to give you, his birth certificate? Like, he doesn't have a fucking, you don't give IDs to 14-year-olds in Indiana, do you? You can't drive. So I'm getting belligerent because I'm just pissed the fuck off at this point. So whatever, it just keeps fucking going. And right. And finally, they make me take a fucking breathalyzer. And I was like, we could have done this fucking 20 minutes ago. Like, you wasted my fucking time. Like, they're sitting there. I swear to God, one cop is putting latex gloves on like they're getting ready to search the car. I'm like, what are you
He's about to stick his fingers up there, bro.
Right. Like, he's just trying to get wild with it. And I'm like, I'm not here to party. But, so I'm getting ready to take a breathalyzer test. And I think it was T-Rob at the back. Was like, hey man, it's okay. I've done these all the time. Like, just take a deep breath and then blow until it beeps. Like, drunk on his ass. And I was like, I fucking know, man. I'm not retarded. Like, so I'm sitting there, and I do remember like taking a deep breath and blowing, and like it wouldn't beep, and I just kept blowing to the point like I almost passed out, and it finally fucking beeps. So I take, get my lips off or whatever, and I look at him. I was like, all zeros. This motherfucker didn't say a word. Shows everybody with them. They turn around and fucking walk back to their cars. I didn't know if I could go. I stuck my head. I was like, am I free to go?
They're like, let's go to the Caprice.
Right. Yeah. Go chase that fucking guy. Oh, man. It was so fucking wild. I was like, are you kidding me? And I felt bad because I'm sitting here. I got Parker with me. He's 14. Like, I feel bad getting him to the situation. And so we come home, and of course his parents wake up when we get home at now 5:30 after we eat and all this shit. And I remember specifically telling his parents, like, guys, I'm sorry. Like, I've not been drinking, but we got pulled over. There was this whole deal. And I remember telling the whole story because I felt so bad because I had their kid in this situation I didn't want to get him into. And they were so cool about it, but it was funny.
Gonna learn today.
You're right.
So, Brad, I got a question for you. How many times do you think you've had interaction with cops?
And oh my God, just in
wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. How many speeding tickets have you ever got?
See, now that's an easier one because I can keep track of that because it's easier to keep track of. I have 24 speeding tickets.
Holy dude, for Jeff.
Right, yeah.
Smokes.
3 for Dale and then another 21, or 24 for Jeff, or however you want to call
24
it.
for Jeff. Holy
big Jeff
smokes.
fan. So yeah, interactions with cops. So it's funny. That's like, you're like, oh man, that's a lot. No, I've been pulled over probably 150 times. I get out of so many. I'm not exaggerating. I've gotten out of probably like 5 to 1 for every time I've gotten pulled over. How many times I've gotten out of tickets?
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
So how do you get out of those things? The
best thing to do is, when I got boobs, it actually got worse. I don't know. I guess cops don't like fat guys, because I've been struggling to get out of them as easily. But used to, like, I don't know, just being honest and open with them and just like bullshitting with them. Like, they walk up to my window and they're like, hey, what's going on? Like, man, I don't know. Like, I'm not even fucking paying attention to my speedo. Like, I get it. I was probably speeding. My bad. Like, I don't have an excuse.
Cruising with the traffic.
Right. No, yeah. No, I tell them, like, dude, I'm just flying. I don't even know. I don't look at my speedo. I'm just driving. And they usually just laugh and just, end up writing me warnings. at one point I just had like a stack of warnings. I finally started throwing them away, but yeah.
Solid.
You got any more, Rusty?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can go down the list.
Oh, let's go down.
Let's go down. Hell, even I'll answer the burglar's question. Just he always wants to know why you take him out there. Why he's leading the iRacing racing.
Oh yeah, because fuck him.
I'm not.
I'm joking. I love Bergner. So when Bergner's, I didn't get to know them too well when they first started racing. Like, I mean, it was hi and bye, and hey, how you guys doing? And we
Yeah, he's
park next
awesome.
to them and give them some light, when we park next to them, and shit, because they're great people.
Awesome people.
Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I got some weird grinding noise going on. So they're really great people, and I got to know them a little bit. And I remember them coming up to Macon. They had just gotten their Bailey, and they were struggling with it. They're out there in hot laps, and they were really off pace. And in the heat race, they'd struggled a little bit. And I remember asking Rod. I was up there with Purdue's helping them. I was like, "Hey, man, like, would you care? Would you care if I help them? Like, these are really good people, and they just need some help. And I, you know, would you mind?" And he's like, "No, actually," he's like, I really appreciate you asking." He's like, "I was going to ask you if you would help them because I feel bad for them. I know they're trying and they're great people and they just need some direction." And so I went over there and talked to Alex and Alan a lot and kind of tried to let them know how I look at the cars and what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to get them to do and how I get them to do that, and just try to give them a little bit of push in the right direction. I remember them going out in the feature, and they seemed like they did a lot better, and they were really excited and really appreciative about it, and it was cool. And that's kind of how I kind of got to know them pretty well, was just kind of through that. And they've found their own way, obviously. And Alan seems like he must be pretty smart guy because they've really found a lot of speed. And it's cool. It's cool to see. I like those people a lot. So I like messing with Alex. He's a good kid, just huge heart on him.
Hmm.
And so when we get in iRacing, I just gotta mess with him. Like, he's just fun. Love you, Alex. You're my guy.
Oh yeah, dude. He's awesome. I love
Yeah,
Alex too. So
good kid.
all right, dude. Next question. Uh what's the Jim Newman question about? Care to share the setup from Chili Bowl qualifier? What's up with that?
Oh, he's wearing me out because obviously I
Jim's
swung
a good
and
guy.
missed at Chili Bowl. And yeah,
Yeah.
Jim's been a good dude. I've known Jim for a
Oh
long
yeah,
time,
for
and
sure.
he likes to wear me out, and a lot of it's well deserved. I felt bad. I really I put Aiden in a bad place at Chili Bowl, and I hate that. And it was probably the one of the hardest times I've ever really went through. So I was just hard on myself about it, and it created some animosity with me and the team. And I
Yeah.
think Aiden was even kind of doubting me a little bit. And I don't know, that was a really hard weekend for me. But yeah, I struggled, and unfortunately because of that, we uh, caused Mike Hess, who was in Newman's car, we caused him a really rough race and kind of just screwed over his Chili Bowl. And it wasn't Aiden's fault. And I know he was upset with Aiden about it. And I know he
Hmm.
realizes now that, I'd kind of just put the kid in a bad spot. But yeah, he's being fun and trying to have a good laugh about it. And I can appreciate that. Like, I get it. I screwed it up, man. Like, I'm very good about admitting when I know
Well,
I screwed it up.
well, fuck, hell, that was Aiden's first Chili Bowl, wasn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Seemed
Yep.
pretty good to me. What was he in? I mean,
It
what
was
made he?
solid.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was all good.
We made the A on the prelim night, and then I relinquished everything, got out of the way, and let those guys do their thing. And they gave him a really good car. I think it was in the D main on Saturday, and he was going to transfer and end up getting into the wall and wrecking. But no, it was cool. And yeah, I was happy to see it. I was in this really weird place between trying to be happy. I was happy for everybody and was trying to take myself out of the equation, but I was just really wearing it. I don't know. I was struggling. I had a
I
bad
hear
week
you.
that week.
Well, that week down there is stressful. It's
Right,
fun
right,
and it can be stressful at the same time. So I hear you
right.
on that, dude. So all right, I'm gonna go to the next question on this. I can ignore what Blaine Culp said about the whole radio, not video, camera, better take a step back,
Rude.
wide.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I
Yeah,
got a lot of
super rude.
frenemies.
Yeah, he's a
Rude.
another. He's just jealous that we got the other redhead on here.
Oh,
So
I guarantee you he is. Trust me.
for
I know
You
that
sure,
guy.
just
You're gonna have to
he's
put him on here
super
afterwards
oh,
now
we
because
will.
he's upset. I
I know.
promise. I know how he
He's
is.
he's on the list. I love Blaine.
Good
Sonny.
dude.
What's Sonny talking about? When you got oil, I mean, you back there just spreading oil everywhere. What's
I'm
going
just
on?
spreading oil 2 hands at a time everywhere.
You mean
I am
like oil, like like oil?
oil here, oil there.
Oil
Just
everywhere.
I've got oil everywhere. I am the messiest motherfucker that's ever worked on a shock. Like, I'll just tell you that. And
But the son of a bitches work.
then they work. Like, I don't feel bad about it. No, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have ever been into shocks or seen how it worked when you get them apart. This was all new to me. I'd never even seen it, but
I've broke a couple.
yeah. So you start getting into the internals of it, and obviously they're all oil filled shocks, and you start getting into them, and it's all fucking oil. I mean, it's just you've filled an entire void with oil, and everything going together. There's just a lot of opportunities to make a lot of mess, and I'm still not getting. I've still not gotten to a point where I can do it and really keep the oil from splashing. Sometimes I think a lot of times I get myself kind of in a hurry because I know I'm spending a lot of time. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and it's really spending probably too much time on the shocks right now, and I know that, and I start kind of rushing myself, and I start making a mess, and there's so many different situations where I've gotten oil over here in the shop, and I've gotten oil over here.
It's
Or
like
I've gotten it on the
Oprah. You
ceiling.
get oil. You
You
get
get
oil.
oil. You get oil. Everyone gets oil, and it is like I remember one time.
bless.
So
It's a new
one
topping
of
on that
the
cheeseburger.
right. So one of the ways, one of the shocks, it's a base valve gas shock. You got to set the divider piston that separates the gas and the oil. And to do that, you just with the shock open, you put the gas to it. Well, usually you do it while sitting in the vise with your hand on top of it. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a lot going on, and I just wasn't even thinking about it. I just cranked it to it, and there was like, I mean, all it takes is a fucking teaspoon of oil, and it's everywhere. And that's all there was. There's just a little bit down in the base valve, and it fucking shot all the way, and it just covered everything in its path. And I was like, oh,
Man, it sounds like I wish Kyle's other background was going on right now with the couch, but we won't get onto that. Dude, I think that's pretty much all we got for you, Brad.
Oh,
Next time, yeah.
That's a shame. I'm having fun.
I know.
Oh, we
I
had
a
fun
appreciate
too,
you
blast.
guys
buddy.
bringing me.
It was a good podcast and everything. I
Cool.
appreciate you coming on with us.
Yep.
And anything you want to shout out your brand, anything like that you're doing right now. So before we head out.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't mind having a chance to talk about Bayonet Shocks. Just the fact that obviously I'm there now, working with Sonny, doing shocks for all kinds of applications. Micros are clearly kind of my forte right now, but we've got great packages for midgets and sprint cars. We got great packages for street stocks, modifieds. I mean, just kind of anything you can think of. We're really trying to kind of get out there and have something to offer. So definitely give us, give us a call, shoot me a text, get a hold of me on Facebook. My phone number is 618-303-9325.
You hear that, ladies?
Yeah, I was thinking. Or guys. I mean,
or dudes.
Yeah, let's not get great.
Not picky.
But no, seriously, get a hold of me if you got repairs, refreshes, you want to get something revalved, or if you just need a whole new package. We've got everything to offer, and I really am confident that we've got something that win races. We won 5 micro sprint races just last weekend, all in the state of Illinois and I guess southeast Missouri with Doe Run. We kind of, almost everything that was available to win this past weekend in the area we won. So that was pretty cool. So I really am confident that we've got what it takes to win. So, get a hold of us.
Awesome. Sounds awesome. And it was a blast. We had fun. I wish we could keep going.
No, I get it. I don't want it to be long. I hope everybody enjoys it.
Well, that's what she said. So
yeah.
All right, dude. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you,
good talking to you. And hey, until next time, I want to have you on again.
I'm down with that, man. Just get a hold of me. Give me a little bit of, a few days notice or whatever.
All right. Signing out. 357 Studios. Talking Circles. See ya.
Sweet. See ya.
See you, buddy.